Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatments that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Tuesday afternoon to you, everyone. Thank you so very much for tuning in and staying with us today. It is Tuesday, the 11th of June, 2024. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside Alton Jaquan Joseph, our technical operator. Our program airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on this radio station, which serves you on the dual frequencies of 91.3 North and 91.5 South, as well as simulcasting on NBC Television, Channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are on Facebook Live and also streaming live on YouTube. I hope you're having a good day so far. It looks like one of those days that you, by the look of it, is a good day. Never mind, the heat, that's what we were born into. That's what we must learn to appreciate. People pay to come and enjoy it. So no complaining about it. Once it doesn't reach heat wave conditions, these are our climbs, our jolly climbs. The climbs that we can all be thankful for, that we can wear the same clothes in January, in June, in December. We don't have to make seasonal changes and adjustments and so on because it's snowing, because it's a blustery autumn and that sort of thing. We are indeed blessed, and we need to learn to appreciate that. I keep saying it, don't take anything for granted in life. Sometimes you have to take stock and, like they say, count your blessings. And I think we are indeed truly blessed to be in the Caribbean tropics, to be in St. Lucia. This is the most wonderful place on earth. Forget about all the other trappings that we don't have of skyscraper and this and that and the other. We are indeed greatly blessed. And the more we learn to appreciate that, I believe the more we will consciously seek to tend to it, seek to, sustain it, seek to improve it, to enhance it, to grow it, to develop it, and so on, when we recognize what a great starting point, lead point, that we have. I have a guest and he's already in studio with me, so not much preamble. I just want to mention something that I have touched on before, and that is about the garbage bins around the city. Late at night, we always have those people, those, as we call them, the druggies, the zombies, the zombies. We have different ways of saying it. It's kind of dismissive and pejorative, but for want of better words and so on, we know those people who exist. In the shadows, a lot of them come out at night. They're not in the best circumstances of life. They're suffering from substance abuse and addiction, mental illness, homelessness, a whole combination, complex and compound of all those things. And for many of them, their idea or means of having a meal is to go rummaging and foraging and diving into garbage bins and so on. I mean, it's a very sad existence. Yet they are our problem. They are what we have to cope with. And I've told you how I've noticed in the capital in the night that the garbage bins in plain view, close to national institutions like the Central Library, the Castries Town Hall, and so on, where you find them going into them and then just emptying the bins, on the ground, on the sidewalks, strewing things all about, I suppose, undoubtedly looking for scraps and so on. And it is sad when people have already made it the business, which you've heard me rail and rant about it on this program, about throwing litter all over the place and so on. When people make it their business and the authorities provide the facilities of the garbage and waste receptacles for us, that no sooner do they do so, and in the night you have people throwing it all over the place. So problem solved, new problem created and so on. And naturally the dogs and others that could not, the rats that could not reach it in the covered bins and so on, they now will have a field night, because much of this is happening in the night. But let me tell you, it's not just confined to the city center. A couple nights I have been taking a late drive in the VG area by the airport, and I noticed that the bins that they have on the beach are suffering the very same fate. That you go in and you see then dogs doing it, the height of those dogs climbing. It's people going there, and they're probably the same people who are, because these zombies, as we call them, man, they have endurance. They walk a lot and they travel a lot on foot and they cover a lot of miles. It might be the same ones, walking all the way to VG to go and see what they can, what pay dirt they can strike, in their existence was goal to go and to overturn those bins looking for scraps. And so right there on the beach, and if it's in the beach, it will end up in the water, it will end up in the road, it will end up by the airport fence. Authorities, I have no suggestions, but we have to do something about it. We have to do something about it. I don't advocate knocking them down. I don't advocate brutalizing them or anything. I know the complications that are caused by that very asinine decision to demolish custody suites. So probably you say, okay, you pick them up, you want to hold them in a little place until you can figure out what to do, how to stop them, whatever. But what place do you have? I understand your cells in your stations, you have no more space, and to take them there and to put them, given the level of contamination, the very awful sanitation situation that they represent, to put them among even, other people that you are detaining there, it's a problem in itself. But do something we must. We really have to. If not all that we're investing in solid waste and national parks and getting those garbage bins and dealing with the problem, it's as if it's for nothing. It's for nothing, because the garbage is getting strewn all over the place. The rats and the dogs are having access to it. It is something that we need to take seriously. Like I said, I don't have answers to this one. Something we could have done to use custody suites as a place where you can put them, scare them straight, talk to them, give them a nice meal, a hot meal, people who donate clothes, that they get a change of clothes and so on. And you begin the slow and diverse process of rehabilitation. When people come and they believe that they're smarter than everybody else and they're the sharpest knife in the drawer, so it's knock down everything, knock down custody suites, knock down this and knock down that and knock down everywhere, because they have this view, this vision of something. There's always some ideas and renderings and drawings and scale model things that they don't realize it takes time, methodical planning and so on to bring them to reality. So I just wanted to draw that to the attention. Those overturning of the bins and so on, both within the city center and elsewhere. VG Beach, one example. We have to do something about it. Without any further ado, I've already had, as my friend Earl Huntley will say, too much ado, So let me welcome to our program in studio with me the Honorable Minister responsible for Youth Development and Sports, who is also the elected Member of Parliament for the constituency of Grozile, by far the largest and the most populous in the country, one of the great centers of economic development, business, tourism, and so on. You name it. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have you, Mr. Minister. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. Of course, some of what you spoke about, in the city center, some of the challenges we also have in our constituency, in the Rodney Bay area and the Grozile town area, in fact, all throughout the constituency. And I just want to appeal to our people that it really is our business collectively to really do something about it, to really say something about it and physically do something about it. Don't wait for just the government to come in and deal with all those littering and the garbage disposal and that sort of stuff. I think we've been saying this for quite some time. I think government after government, we really need to take pride in our communities. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Mr. Minister, you're here today to talk about preparations for the ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup being hosted in the West Indies and in the USA, and St. Lucia included among the venues and so on. So we've had preparations. We've seen preparations in terms of road repair and rehabilitation, environmental things, and the actual work on facilities. The Darren Sammy Cricket Ground being the premier one and so on that we have in mind. So maybe you can just tell us about those preparations, where we're at with them as we prepare to host our first match, I think, in this tournament coming up a little later this month. So take us through, what has been happening.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Shelton. And of course, this really gives me the opportunity to really speak the truth about what we've done so far, because you hear a lot of rumors, you hear a lot of speculation, you hear a lot of costs being thrown out there, and we live in a country where people just seem to thrive on rumor, and I prefer dealing with the accurate information. We as a government, we put in a bid to host Cricket World Cup. That bid was put in since last year. And you hear so many places people are saying, oh, y'all knew you were going to host World Cup, so why at the end of the day we still have final touches happening right now? That should have been done so long ago. The fact of the matter is, putting in a bid does not necessarily mean you win the bid. And so it would be foolhardy for any government to put in a bid and then immediately decide to spending $30-40 billion on developing facilities. We had to wait as a nation, we had to wait as a government to find out how we did in terms of that bid. As fate would have it, we were only informed earlier this year that we had won the rights to host 6 games. As a matter of fact, at first it was supposed to be 4, but Dominica pulled out, which gave us an additional 2 games. And so we were told that in the grand scheme of a World Cup, late, we had to decide as a government whether or not we were then going to pull out, because Jamaica decided they were pulling out, Dominica pulled out, because we realized the gravity of the work, the infrastructural development that had to be put in place.
So they pulled out because of the scale of effort and investment and resource that had to be committed to that preparation.
Exactly.
Jamaica,
Yes.
Jamaica.
And whether or not they were in, based on their economic indicators, that they were in a fiscal space to take on those responsibilities. As fate would have it, we have a prime minister that when he came in, he was fiscally prudent enough to sit on the capital and ensure that we as a nation were in a position to host a World Cup as we are seeing right now. I mean, some of the decisions, many people were putting pressure, just go and build all the roads and all that sort of stuff. And he kept telling us in cabinet, we are going to deal with infrastructure. We are going to deal with infrastructure. Let's strengthen our healthcare. Let's strengthen the police. Let's do what we need to do in those first 2 years to really ensure that the foundation of our economy, the fundamentals of our economy remain strong. And so we were in a position where we decided as a cabinet, as a government, that yes, we have a lot of work to do in a short space of time, but it is worth it. It is worth it for the development of our young people, our young cricketers, and our facilities. Because let's put it that way. We opened the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds in 2001, and since then we've had no major upgrade to the facility. We've had cricket grounds in Antigua, in Trinidad, and if you look globally, many technologically advanced cricket grounds were built since Darren Sammy was opened. And it was in dire need of an upgrade. There was significant neglect I found when I became minister. We were dealing with something like 27 leaks. We were dealing with high costs in terms of the maintenance of the facility. We had bills that we had to clear out. And so we decided that, yes, this is the opportune time for us to develop the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds, modernize the cricket grounds, and ensure that St. Lucia is ready. So the rumor mill has been laced with, oh, why you're so late? After we were then told that we won the bid, we were not given the fixture. So we did not know who we were hosting. As you would appreciate, Shelton, if you are hosting Afghanistan, Scotland, Netherlands, and UAE and those countries, the amount as a government you would want to invest in hosting those countries that may not have the fandom and the economic benefit of marketing St. Lucia would be significantly different from when you are informed that, hey, there's a huge possibility that India will be in St. Lucia with 1.5 billion people. And of course, England with the largest following of cricket in world cricket. So at the end of the day, there were still some concerns that we needed iron out with the ICC and Cricket West Indies. And then we were told that there's a huge possibility that England and India would feature in the Super 8 matches in St. Lucia, given what would happen in the group stages. Then we felt confident and comfortable as a government that, yes, we were going to make that investment. And since then, it's been full steam ahead. Absolute full steam ahead. The other misnomer out there is that we've spent $40 million on Darren Sammy alone. I mean, we've spent 40. The fact of the matter is we're still not at $33 million as yet. And it is not the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds only. I encourage everybody, just take a nice drive to the constituency of Groseley and just go and observe the work that we've put in transforming the Groseley playing field into a mini stadium. A lot of work in terms of the actual perimeter work, the surface, and of course putting in the toilets, the seats, the roof, and all of that is being invested at the Groseley playing field. So it's not just Mindofile Park. In addition to that, I challenge anybody to look at the pictures in 2020 of the Mindofile Park and the state it was left in because of a so-called doctrine that indicated, despite the fact that this was the breeding ground for the Darren Sammy, for the Julian Alfred, for the Laverne Spencers of the world, that we were going to neglect this because it was in Castries East. Look at the neglect of Mindofile Park. And it's this government who's come in and has used this same financing to upgrade this facility as a training ground for Cricket World Cup. So it is absolutely ridiculous. And I chuckle when I hear you spend $40 million on one facility. And I mean, we have been spending that money in the most fiscally prudent way. We ensured that the Director of Finance was the last signature on any sort of contract awarded for any works done at those three facilities. We have a local organizing committee. We have put together the most rigorous project team, inclusive of the project supervisor, architects, designers, and all of that, to ensure that given the short space of time, we could effectively manage the finances and the implementation of the works done at Darren Sammy. And I challenge anybody to go to the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds, the Minden Phillip Park, and the Grosley Playing Field and sell me that it's not money well spent. We are there, we are getting closer, and I mean, we've done a lot in terms of the infrastructure as well. Take a drive through the Kaimaji area.
That's what I was about to tell you. I wanted to go and take a look myself, but I said, hey, I've seen so much work being done in Kaimaji, in this other area coming from Grosley, was that Bella Rosa and all of that,
and Beausejour,
Beausejour
from Massad
and all of
into
that.
Beausejour.
Yes, I have seen, so much of that I don't want to add to the unnecessary traffic pressure, and congestion.
Absolutely.
But tell us about the progress. Let's begin, for example, I know that you've mentioned Kaimaji.
Yes.
The access roads and so on. How has that been going?
Yes, so you would appreciate that the last major World Cup we had in St. Lucia, the population in Kaimaji, in Grosley Town, in Beausejour, in Massad, and Bella Rosa would have dwarfed what the population is right now. And so we really thought, in terms of the conversation with the Ministry of Infrastructure, the ICC, and all the persons involved in safety and security, we really felt that we are hosting a global event and that the capacity of this road was not sufficient when it comes to dealing with any sort of emergency. And so one of the things that we had to do was to open up that Kaimaji road. We know that we have businesses on the left and right, and so it would have been a challenge for us. But we have succeeded in opening up that road for vehicular traffic. Another challenge we had was the roundabout by Austin's house. I think most people know Austin, a former teacher at Castries Comprehensive and a bus driver on the Beausejour route. We had to ensure that if we have an emergency and vehicles are passing, that they don't have to come to a full stop for oncoming traffic. And so we've widened this hairpin bend, in a significant way. And so we had to ensure that that was done properly. That has been done. Then the Bella Rosa Road. When you come from opposite the marina into Beausejour, that's another access road. Work continues and ensuring that this road is as motorable as possible into Beausejour. And then we had to ensure that Massad, next to the fire station, into Beausejour, was given all the relevant attention. And we had a situation...
That road had deteriorated.
Oh, significantly because of the rains, especially near the sports academy. We had to do all the remedial works on some pipes with Wasco before we went ahead to actually do the surface that we are currently doing, and that situation with flooding in that area should be mitigated against, and we have a full access to the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds right now.
All right, okay. So the actual Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds, you alluded to so many leaks and other things that we understand it's a struggle with disconnections, utilities, water supply and so on, which you absolutely will cripple the usefulness of any facility, much less one of this nature. Give us an idea of the kind of challenges that had to be dealt with. You mentioned, maintenance and so on, and it's something people don't appreciate. We are essentially a coastal, islands and so on. The sea blast and the corrosion and so on, and the effect it has on even the best of your iron and metal works and your galvanized and so on. So just tell us about some of the issues and challenges that had to be overcome and dealt with.
Absolutely, because the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds is located very close to the Casabah Beach. The sea blast had done significant damage to the metal, the roofing and that sort of thing. I mentioned earlier many leaks in that roof. As a result, we had to totally changed the roof.
Strip it down.
We stripped it down. In fact, almost 99% of the metal had to be removed.
That's a huge and I'm sure very costly undertaking.
Absolutely. Huge, tedious undertaking. They actually worked day and night. Persons in the community would have seen from jump that they stripped it off, and they were working day and night to ensure that we provide the treatment and all the mitigative works for the roof. And so we spent some serious money on the roof at the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds. The lights, we had a situation that for a couple of years when we had CBL, we thought it was our players that were Lapo, because every single statistical thing you see in the St. Lucia Kings have the most drop catches and that sort of thing, and you were wondering, but what is going on? When teams came to St. Lucia now, we saw we had even more drop catches. What happened is, over the years, because of course we were not using LED lights, that there was a yellowing, the burning of those lights that use fossil fuel and that sort of thing, and not using the modern technology, that it was dim. So we had a situation where the percentage of sunlight on the cricket pitch was somewhere between 65 and 70%. And we really needed to bring it up to at least 90% of daylight for ICC Cricket World Cup. And so we had to spend a significant sum to ensure that we changed all the lights at Daransami. And so now, even in terms of our mandate in sports, in having cleaner sports, in terms of energy efficiency, we have full LED lights at the Daransami Cricket Ground. So we spent some serious money on that. We also had to ensure that we have a state-of-the-art modern scoreboard. We could not have continued those manual putting up the scores of, that sort of thing. And I mean, the rest of the world had gone far ahead when it came to that. And so we had to ensure that we have a digital, and I mean, I'm trying to remember the dimensions right now, but it is an actual awestruck thing to see the digital scoreboard that we've put in place. This again is the modern technology that we had to invest in, and we want to thank the Korean government for coming on board to ensure that we got those things. We also had to have a replay screen. What happened over the years was because, of course, again, we live in the tropics. We had a couple hurricane systems that destroyed, the structural integrity of that area, and of course, the replay screen. And we had to be, when we have cricket, bring in, somebody in to put something there so that we can see the replay. And we actually decided that we wanted a modern, state-of-the-art, high-quality, full HD, 4K replay screen, so people can see, the fans can interact in terms of seeing the replay, the decisions the umpires have to make. And so we ensured that was also done at the Daransami Cricket Grounds. We invested in the technology, because when you have a Cricket World Cup, you have things like Spider Cam. I mean, you have to have
Say that again. What kind of cam?
Spider Cam.
Oh Lord. you got eyes on somebody. So he ain't sneaking through like you think. They got eyes on him. Don't say anything, that's just me.
Yeah, I moved on from that. Okay. So, I mean, all the technologies in terms of ensuring that you get all the camera angles and all that sort of stuff, we had to invest in that technology. And I just want to say quickly, a lot of the times, and even for the layman, you go into a supermarket and you come in for a certain amount of money, and then you walk out with a plastic bag. You've spent $400 and you're looking at the plastic bag and you're wondering, I spent $400 on that? Yeah. When people talk about the amount and they say that, there are little things that have to be done in terms of upgrading to an ICC that may not be to the ordinary fan's eye. Yeah. When you come in, then you're like,
all the intricacies.
I mean,
the technicalities and complexities that you have to do.
Exactly.
It's not just a concrete and steel and stone
It's
matter.
It's not, because most of the fans, in fact, none of the fans will see the change room that we've upgraded for cricketers. I mean, these are cricketers that are playing in the IPL and the English League and that sort of stuff. You cannot have a locker room that is not equipped with the technology for you to see how the cricketer is shaping up, the batter is shaping up, and that sort of thing. We had invested flat screens. We had to invest in locker rooms for each, lock-in dressers for each individual, the proper ice bath, the technology for recovery. And so we had to invest in all of those things for Cricket World Cup. So if you look at the investment, for just Daransami alone, my brother, we've done very, very well as a government to come in at that cost. And so there are so many other things that we had to. So the new player locker room, the media center, because you have an influx of over 30 countries coming to broadcast in St. Lucia. So you have individuals from the different companies coming to broadcast. We had to extend a media center. We had to change the actual layout, provide a glass casing for where the media individuals will be sitting and operating from. And again, we had to invest in the technology, wireless technology for upgrade, for updating websites, upgrading all those media information and that sort of thing. And so we've spent quite a sum in terms of modernizing Daransami Cricket Grounds. And as a Minister of Sport, I think all of St. Lucia will be very happy when they come in and they see what we as a government have invested in that facility.
I want to ask you, did the facility suffer any deterioration as a result of alternative activities, non-cricket activities being held? Our grounds have to bear, the need for entertainment, you cannot tell people no because that's the facility that's available, but partying, carnival events and other things that take place there. Has there been any deterioration or damage of note that results from those other activities?
Let me say first and foremost, and I think anybody who's known me for my entire life, they knew from the age of 9 I became a national track and field athlete, and later footballer, later cricketer, volleyballer at the national level and that sort of thing. And so sports as a sports minister is my first priority. And I make no apology when I say that I would not want to see any other activity but sports held at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. I make no apology for it. I do not know.
To sustain
exactly. But that's another conversation. I just want to make sure I explain myself to the listening population. I do not know a sports minister who has pretty much come from a sports background that has developed into who they are today, like myself, who will take a podium and tell you that what they want at a cricket facility that is an international standard is to have all sets of feds and that sort of thing. So I make no apology for saying that. Is it the reality that none of those things would happen at the Darren Sammy? No. Would I like to see it happen? No. But the fact of the matter is we are in a small island. We do not have unlimited resources to just put up entertainment centers all over and not have sporting events. But the fact of the matter is, as the sports minister, the youth minister, I and my team, we are determined to find an area where we can have those entertainment activities that is not going to affect the surface. So to answer your question, we have had situations where there are damages. If you look at, for instance, in Soufrière, having activities destroying some of the facility in terms of the surface, and I can tell you, the manager and the persons at Soufrière, they try their best to explain to entertainers, to promoters, that you have to protect the integrity of surfaces. It does not happen. At Darren Sammy, I cannot say that there's been a huge cost, but I can say that many times those promoters want to have events. They want to break you down to the lowest in terms of the rental of the facility. And my problem is the fact that after they've left, the sum total of the work you have to put in does not yield a profit to the SSI or to the facility. It doesn't yield the profit that we could speak of. And so for me and my team, we've embarked on ensuring that we can find a place that, SSI can benefit from having the rental of the facility for entertainment events. And so the abuse of Darren Sammy is something I'm concerned about. And of course, we now have significant work happening at Grosley Playing Field.
What significant areas does that abuse manifest itself as?
On the surface.
Is it in the bathrooms, on broken toilets and so
Absolutely.
on? The surface being stomped and so on, and
Absolutely.
then it has to be rehabilitated and so on. Just give us an idea of the kind of things.
So let me just give you just a practical example.
I suppose the bottles and so on that have to be cleaned up and all of that.
Let me just give you just a basic idea so that our listeners can understand what I mean. When you have a surface and you have grass on a surface, and you have patrons coming on that surface from all walks of life, using different shoes, they come in from a mud area that have different pests, different bugs and those sort of things. When you have that surface that is supposed to be in pristine condition, exposed to those sort of elements, you as a minister, you as a curator, you as a SSI, at Port St. Lucia, have to now order chemicals, fertilizers, different things to treat and ensure that this surface continues to look the way it is. This is an investment that you have to make. In addition to that, as you would say, persons, a lot of the times, they inebriated, they had a few libations, so they go and they use the bathroom facility, who put their leg up, who do what they do, they destroy the mirrors, they destroy, some of the things that are done that are unsavory, that you have to then, at the end of the day, find the money to have the rehabilitation. So for me, the investment we've made, we as a ministry, we've sat down at the table to ensure that we can, moving forward, ensure we have a comprehensive maintenance policy for this island. Not just the Darren Sammy, but for the lights at all facilities, for the surfaces at all facilities, and for those areas that we know we need operational for the development of sports in this country. And so it's a discussion that I continue to have, especially when I see what happens at VG.
Let's take a break, but maybe you can begin turning your mind towards some things I want to ask you. One of which is the challenge of generating events that are relevant, that are suited, that are for the purpose and germane to a facility. Do we have the ability to generate cricket activities that will make the Darren Sammy viable and so on? Or do we have to wait for every so many years for a World Cup to come around, the 90 thing? And we have a facility that basically, if we had to go on that, it's been enshrined rather than utilized. You know, we have it there, a bell pot that you don't touch and so on, has a board and everything, but you have to tune down the Burner Boys and all these people because that is not suited to it, but you're not getting the activities. What are some of the challenges that stand in the way of that? And another thing I want to ask you, our own people, are they showing that kind of enthusiasm for sports? And it doesn't seem to be here. I look all over the world and I'm seeing on the grounds and so on, it seems to be television rights and whatever that's driving it, because you see the stands and the areas, all of them so very empty. I don't know why and so on, and it bothers me a bit. So I want to come to that. Let's take our first commercial break. This is The Real Issues. Our very special guest today, Honorable Kenson Kazimi, the Minister responsible for Youth Development and Sports and MP for the constituency of Groseley. Back in a moment.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you, at Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with the real issues on this Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. My guest today in studio, the Honorable Minister responsible for Youth Development and Sports, MP elected for Grozile, Honorable Kenson Kazimi, and is speaking with us about the progress of preparations for St. Lucia hosting matches in this the 2024 ICC Men's T20 World Cup, which is being hosted in the USA and in the West Indies. And he is telling us that they're right on course. Things are moving along smoothly, and we've taken the opportunity to speak about some other things. For example, our own population's enthusiasm for sports, to attend it. And do we have that kind of sports enthusiasm among our people that would make your dream of seeing the Darren Sammy's cricket ground used for cricket, exactly what it was built for, and so on? Do we have that kind of, and do we have the ability to organize and generate events like the CPL and so on, that in the absence of a World Cup that comes every so many years and so on, that we can have that level of excitement and activity that will keep people plugged in and so on? A lot of things, quite a mouthful, but absolutely. I know you can handle that.
I think the culture, the sports culture of a nation is something that we always have to have discussions on. In terms of, even in terms of tickets, I mean, my phone has not stopped ringing for the last week. I mean, because, of course, individuals want to be at the cricket match, but some of them genuinely cannot afford. But the majority who actually can still think that they need to have free entrance to the facility. And I just want to provide clarity, because a lot of the times, I mean, the name of the facility is Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds. And I was one of those that did not think necessarily that it should be considered a cricket grounds. I think Darren Sammy represents sports excellence in St. Lucia. Right. And so, I mean, we are going to continue to host international football matches from time to time. If we need to have track and field events, we need to have regional events, we're still going to be using the facility. But generally, I think it's a sports facility first. And that's me. I'm a Minister of Youth Development and Sport. So I will always take a sports first approach. When I have discussions about the VG playing field and the facility and the use of those facilities for all the cultural events, I always say there's a Minister of Culture who has a mandate of developing the cultural aspect of St. Lucia, and I'm a Minister of Sport who at the end of the day seek to develop the sports, ensuring that the fields are available. And so I will always have that back and forth in terms of the utility of our playing surfaces and that sort of thing, and that is ongoing. But in terms of the tickets, in terms of persons' approach to sport and the choosing, social events, I mean, I made no apologies for saying what I said. I got a lot of calls for saying that persons spent $100 to go to Burna Boy, and so I am expecting that persons to who are serious about sports development and putting on a good show for St. Lucia for the rest of the world, spending some money on it and getting entrance to the facility.
And not everybody believes they must get a complimentary ticket and so on.
Everybody believes
a complimentary ticket and a complimentary ticket, but we don't ask for complimentary for Burna Boy and all of that. We pay the money.
So at the end of the day, I do think that that we have to be realistic about what we have to do, and we, the government of St. Lucia, did not set the ticket prices. We tried from all angles to see, and I mean, as a parliamentary rep, intro of the most populous constituency, I would want to see as many people from Grozile there. So the lower I as a minister can influence the ticket price to be, I would want it. But this is an ICC event. I have been disappointed in terms of the approach to a third world sort of area or locales hosted the event. The approach of having sort of a first world pricing system is a bit disappointing for me as a minister. But this is a global event. That is the reality that we are faced with. And so I made it very clear very early that in terms of complimentary tickets, it would be very, very difficult. So do not go blaming your MPs and blaming, because I have 16 MPs calling me about tickets to obviously distribute to their constituents. And I've said to them, I said very early, I'm apologizing very early, you will just not get the amount that you would previously get for CPL and other events. And persons should go out as much as they can afford to buy tickets to support the event. We have that same challenge in semi-professional football. We have a semi-professional league, and I mean entrance is from anywhere from $5 to $10, sometimes $15, and persons who are in full support of having a semi-professional league and players being compensated do not want to just contribute to this entire thing.
Why do you think people who can't afford to pay, but for some reason they seem to regard it as being a statement of how you regard them? $5 is nothing, but they feel that if they pay it as opposed to getting the complimentary, it tells a statement that you don't hold them in the esteem to which they think they're entitled. Why do you think we have this mindset? It's with jazz. It's if a lot of people who can't afford to pay, it's not a problem. They want complimentary ticket. If they don't get it, they vex. They'll even protest by not going, when it's nothing for them, but they just feel that it is a mark of respect and honor for you to give them the ticket.
I'll go a step further. I've had people who said to me they are not voting for me again because they didn't get a jazz ticket, my brother. They may not say it directly that way, but they'll tell you, I'm waiting for you, so you can't remember me to give me a jazz ticket, and then you will want me to vote for you. I mean, it's an ego trip for especially those that can afford it. They just believe because of perhaps their influence in getting people to support you and vote for you, by virtue of that fact, they shouldn't pay to gain entrance to any event, whether it's cricket, whether it's jazz, whether it's football. They should be given. And I would go a step further. There are some that you would give the ticket to gain entrance that would still be upset with you because they didn't get VIP. So it's
you only give them one. You didn't
give them one, but you know you have. But you know I have my wife. You didn't give. So it's a culture that I struggle with as a minister of youth development and sports,
and it even gets tied to your political fortunes.
Absolutely, and the perception is that you're supposed to remember everybody that voted for you, and you're supposed to give them tickets. And if you don't, it means that you don't respect them or respect their effort.
And all of that.
That's the nature of it.
Let me ask you another question regarding Groseley in particular. A very blessed place in terms of the venues when we consider that is the headquarters of jazz, so to speak, the main stage and so on, Pigeon Island National Park. Now you're talking about the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, definitely the cream of the crop, in terms of sports venues and so on. But the traffic and transportation system, especially in the last few years, has become a bit of a nightmare, And I don't think it's something we're going to get fixed in time for the men's T20 World Cup. The crawl that begins from the time you hit the shock roundabout and it builds up and it slows down everything and so on. Is that likely to disadvantage the enthusiasm that our people and even visitors have to get there and so on, no matter how much we organize the shuttle services and all these kinds of things? Is it likely to disadvantage because people are just put off, by these long lines and slow moving, we might even say traffic jam and so on, that inevitably results?
I do not envisage us having this significant problem for the Cricket World Cup. I think we've put together the local organizing committee along with the Commissioner's Office and Traffic Department, a very comprehensive traffic management.
A video showing the minister the recent tour that he had where he took the media to show them the facility. I forwarded it to you. I don't know if it'll take you too long to just download it, so maybe as we chat you can just roll it as a little B-roll.
They put together a park and ride system that I think would really alleviate some of those concerns. Generally, what we saw for jazz, we saw that the first night of jazz was really challenging, but as time went by, things were alleviated quite a bit. And so we have a park and ride system where the Orange Grove Plaza can be used, the area behind Galaxy by Michel's Electrical can be used. We have, for those coming up from up north, we have the Rodney Bay area by Johnson Center. So we've engaged the entire, we have so many buses on the Groseley bus stop, all of the Groseley, the 1A bus drivers to be part of this park and ride system. And so you may have some traffic from, as you said, shock into next to Galaxy. But from then on, your traverse to the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground should be better. And I said should be better. We're yet to see for the first night. But I really believe that with that sort of park and ride system, there's less congestion on the roads and in terms of heading in there. And of course, in terms of the communities in Beausejour, Bella Rosa, and those places not being affected as much in terms of people parking on both sides of the road and blocking their gates and that sort of thing. And so I think that should work very well. And as a matter of fact, we had 2 meetings with residents of that community. As a parliamentary rep, I always try my best to get engaged, promote engagement of my constituents. We had a first meeting via Zoom where we were able to present to them from the Commissioner's office the traffic management plan, the parking system, and of course give them the opportunity to get their passes because they would be going in as persons who are residents and that sort of thing. And we're able to hear from them what some of their concerns were. We had a quick turnaround and we were able to meet with them again to speak to them in terms of what we have come up with in terms of a traffic management plan and some of the situations where persons have Airbnbs, persons have different dynamics of family gatherings and that sort of thing. So we've had that engagement with residents. It's not going to be perfect. I said at the end of that second meeting that we're asking residents of Beausejour, Kaimaje, Bella Rosa, Massad, Grosely to make a sacrifice on behalf of St. Lucia. 6 days of cricket. A cricket game is between anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. So when you look at the time that they have to sacrifice their convenience, I think it's worth it considering the economic benefits we stand to get from hosting a Cricket World Cup. And of course, the individuals who have the Airbnbs, I don't think you can get an Airbnb in Beausejour right now.
What indications are the advanced bookings showing us?
I heard some members in the meeting indicate that persons booked their Airbnbs not necessarily for cricket, but I'm pretty sure given the opportunity and knowing that there's cricket, they will be attending, and so that still is a benefit. In terms of the actual indicators from the Ministry of Tourism, I think we'll get that afterwards, but I know a significant amount of people that are calling other individuals to pass on individuals that were looking to book in the Beausejour area but would have to go on the outskirts of Rodney Bay and Bonte and those areas for Airbnbs. The game on the 17th, which is...
So we don't have data available for advanced booking?
No. Well, not with Airbnbs. Okay. I don't think we can retrieve that right now. But I can tell you for the Afghanistan versus West Indies game on the 17th, that is going to be a blockbuster event, and a lot of persons are calling all around to find areas to sleep for that night.
Okay. My other question to you before we get to the point where we open the phone lines, already you've alluded to it, not exactly in those words, of course, about how our people can feel hard done by the ticket pricing, and they may form the mind that these events carry a certain elitism about them, that your pocket has to be well lined for you to be able to, and you've indicated it's largely out of the hands of local organizers. But there's also the other aspect, which since Cricket World Cup 2007, I suppose coming on the heels of, and it's significant today, we have Afghanistan integrated into the international cricket community. This is a very good thing. The name Afghanistan carried totally different connotations since September 11, 2001.
And the way they play, they may make it to the semi-finals.
Exactly. Which is what really spawned a lot of the security, tight security, that a lot of people thought took the joy, the shine of Caribbean-ness and culture and the Conlabi, which could be a deadly weapon, and all these other restrictions that they felt really sucked the Caribbean, our people, life out of it and so on. What about this time around? Do you think there's an opportunity regarding all the security and so on, but for the people to be St. Lucian people, Caribbean people?
I think there are opportunities.
To have the fun that cricket always meant, that which was why...
You see, the good thing about the St. Lucia crowd is that they have the national word, and so they don't need conch shells, they don't need any of that in terms of our context. They just have a gathering and a little bit of excitement of a six being hit or wicket being taken for them to actually enjoy that. So we generally don't have a lot of people coming in with conch shells and that sort of thing, but we have a few that would want to. But the fact of the matter is
the security going to clip their wings on that on those things?
I think they will. I think they will. I mean, I said this in an interview yesterday that from my recollection, we've hosted safe events global events from time immemorial. I've never had a situation, I've never heard of a situation where we've had some mass crowd event, security breach and that sort of thing at the Darren Sammy for a CPL or for a global event. I mean, knock on wood. But the security aspect to an ICC is totally different. I mean, as we speak, we would have a different level of security in and around the venue already in terms of getting entrance to the venue. So you would have with the Ministry of National Security, the bombs sniffing and the actual perimeter setup and that sort of thing that they are going through as we speak. And I mean, the first game is on Saturday and they've already started that. So I think people understand that we live in a different time. We live in a time where persons' tempers seem to flare even when somebody step on your feet. Gone are the days somebody step on your feet, you say sorry. It's a different sort of climate. So every single precaution that has to be taken from the security apparatus will be taken, and we don't take it lightly at all. I'm very proud about one thing about St. Lucia. While having discussions with other ministers of sport in the region hosting those games, they had issues with getting volunteers, actual volunteers to be at the stadium for the games. And I can tell you, St. Lucia, we had in excess of the volunteers that were recommended, and as a matter of fact we had to get to a point where we had to cut off. So when we have volunteerism is dead in St. Lucia, it's in our communities, what used to happen in our communities. But when it comes to sports, it comes to some of the CPL and that sort of thing, we are no way short of having volunteers that could, you know, increase whatever visibility, whatever vigilance that we would need to have a safe event.
All right. Jaquan, doesn't seem you've been able to get the videos yet. I was thinking that you can just play it, but maybe in lieu of the on-screen that we have when calls come in, that maybe we can just silently, you know, just play it over, you know, the calls and so on, or as we speak. That we can just show it, like I said, as background roll, you know.
Yeah. But if you allow me, let me just go through the dates for our people in terms of cricket. On Saturday the 15th, that will be our first game. The first game would be held at Darren Sammy at 8 p.m. I think that game is at 8:30, but 8 p.m. we will have Australia versus Scotland. That will shape up to be a very good game because, of course, Scotland is doing very, very well.
Yeah, I never expected the kind of fight that the Netherlands put up against South Africa.
Let me tell you.
The fellas barely scored over 100 runs, but for South Africa to get them, it took 6 or 7 wickets.
And we'll talk about conditions. I'll talk about the conditions in those games.
So, you know what I'm saying? Underdogs can come out, can pull some bunnies out of the hat, you know.
Especially in the region. Yes. You would have noted that Karen Pollard was a former West Indies captain. He's been employed and contracted by England as a conditions consultant. Right. England has done dismally in the region from times. They just cannot seem to get the better of us once they come to the Caribbean.
Somebody to tell them how the humidity might burn.
Exactly. How the pitch will play, what's to expect in terms of dew, in terms of, you know, the different decisions that they have to make. Right, okay. And of course, similarly, the other Trinidadian fellow, Bravo, has been given that opportunity as well. And so we see the associated countries, Scotland, all those people are doing very well against the bigger nations. So we have Scotland, Australia, that's on Saturday, June 15th, that's a night game. And then on the 16th, the following day, we have Sri Lanka versus Netherlands. That should be interesting. Sri Lanka has not been the powerhouse in T20 that they've been. They've won the World Cup before, but Netherlands are showing their mettle, as you said. And then Monday, the 17th, is really the big one, West Indies versus Afghanistan. Afghanistan, in terms of their spin, has always seemed to have troubled the West Indies. But what's most impressive about the Afghanistan team right now is the ability to bring on pace bowlers. 140 Ks coming in, running in, accurate, swinging that ball. Afghanistan is really a team to look out for in terms of this Cricket World Cup. I went into my analyst mode for a second there, no longer that. But that should be a very good game on a Monday. And then after, on Wednesday the 19th, we'll be seeing the Super 8, of course, based on the groupings who came out first and second. We'll be seeing that game at 8 o'clock on Wednesday the 19th. And then Friday the 21st, we'll have our first day game. It will be at 10:30 a.m. So we only have 2 games being played in the day in the morning. And then on Monday the 24th of June at 10:30, we'll see our final game being played in St. Lucia. So lots to look out for.
A lot indeed. All right, folks, you've heard Honorable Kenson Kazimi giving us a little update. It's not the state of play yet. It's a build up to the state of play, especially where it concerns St. Lucia, our preparations, not just of the Darren Sammy cricket ground, but the surrounding roads, the infrastructure, the totality of things that have to come into planning and preparing for events. There's not just one event, there's several of this magnitude in our country. The telephone lines are open to take your calls. The numbers to dial, you can WhatsApp call us on 758-724-7325. That's the mobile number, 724-7325. And you can also reach us on our landline, 4533-911. All right, sorry about that. We do have just a little bit of feedback. So we have our first caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues, you're on. Hello? All right, are we able to, I haven't looked, are we able to get the video yet? It's running, okay, all right. All right, folks, keep on trying. We lost this caller. I know I didn't stay talking for long, but we have another caller on the line. Good afternoon, The Real Issues.
Shelton, Daniel, good afternoon.
Hey, hi, good afternoon to you.
And carry on.
What a wow, my
Carry on.
Yes, I.
My brother, carry on.
Thank you.
But before I speak about the Borseju cricket ground, I want to speak about Mindo Phillip Park. When Mario Michel was the Minister of Sports, a very tough decision was taken by Mario Michel not to spend any money on the Mindo Phillip Park again in terms of bringing it to international level. And Mario Michel, along with George Odlum, I think George Odlum was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, they worked assiduously, and then they pulled through with these stadiums, the one in Vieux-Fort and Darren Sammy. And persons who had tunnel vision, they criticized the move. They criticized the stadiums. They call it white elephant. And fast forwarding to now, you could see the benefits. Darren Sammy Cricket Stadium was the first stadium with lights in the Caribbean. And it was the Labour Party, it is the Labour Party who takes sports to the highest level. Because I remember, carry on baby, that the time of Flabo, the sportsman and the sportswomen of the year, they were getting a plaque. But when Labour came in power, they upped that to a contribution of $10,000. We don't forget fast, you know. Labour Party gave the sportsman and the sportswomen $10,000. But they were getting a plaque on the Flabo. And fast forwarding to World Cup cricket, carry on baby, I must say that is a dream come true. Where a 238 square mile nation can have the entire world viewing them. And that goes well for our country. So I'm very proud. To me, that is money well spent. That is money well spent to have the entire world looking at us staging a World Cup cricket. Carry on. All the best. Bye. Blessings.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Colin. Yeah, because I mean, the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds, and I mean, it made a very interesting sort of analysis of Mindo Phillip Park. I think that place is somewhere that, you know, is very passionate. I mean, the Prime Minister is passionate about, and will continue to do what we need to do at that facility to bring it back to where it needs to be.
Okay, we have another call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Senator, the Honorable Shelton Daniel, and of course to the Minister, Honorable Baby, aka Honorable Kazimi. Yes, Shelton, I had the pleasure of meeting this young man in New York sometime late last year. And this is a young man I see with a lot of vision for the young people. But let me first congratulate you on your ministry for the premier league that you have going in St. Lucia, where players are now being contracted up to about, $2-3 million, Honorable? Yeah. Now I see players have been paid.
$0.3 million.
As a man who love,
In payment.
As a man who love the Premier League, I would love to see a Premier League in St. Lucia. And that has just been the starting, and that is very good, very good. I congratulate the government. But Shelton, I had the opportunity of attending one of these matches, that World Cup match in Nassau, New York. Let me tell you, I think this is a lot of money that is being spent. And some people may think, well, boy, I want free tickets, or I want to go in with my own thing, my own food. Let me tell you, Shelton, in New York, I think the food was prepared by one company. All booths have one food, the same food. You're not going in, and nobody goes in with water, nor food, nor drink. Because I believe that the money that is being spent there, if they allow people to walk in with their own thing, the cricket World Cup, ICC will not make that money back. And I think, I don't want to say that vendors are not going to make it outside the park, but inside the park, they have to have some form where they can retain that money, because this is and let me tell you, if New York can spend that amount of money and they're trying to make it back, far less St. Lucia, the rules and the rules that has to be put in place to retain that money that is being spent, I think it was money well spent, and people will have to understand that. I think our people have the knack for wanting freeness or want to do things divide their own way. You go to a booth at Nassau County, Shelton, you go to, the food is the same price, the same food. If there is 20 booths, the same kind of food, the same drinks, the same price, and it's one company. The security there, Shelton, I mean, people will complain, maybe they probably have to walk from Castries to Grosile, but let me tell you, I had to park my car in a designated parking spot and walk at least 2.5 miles to the park, and security all along the way. And sometimes you would think, well, boy, I'm in a war zone. No, it is for your security, because let me tell you, after 9/11, man can't take chances. And I think St. Lucia has done well. I've seen a bit of the clips of the park. I think you all have done very well, Minister. I applaud you all, hands on for you all, because I think that's a task that was not any government, as you could see, Jamaica walked out of it, Dominica walked out of it, and St. Lucia took on that mantle. You all have done. I applaud you all. St. Lucia must applaud you all, because it's an experience. When I walked into that place and I walk into that park, I mean, I would love to be in St. Lucia to watch a game. I have a few friends heading to St. Lucia right on their way right now. Pigeons heading to St. Lucia, because they tell you that's one of the best park. That's the best stadium that they are heading to. And I could tell you, I feel so left out. I mean, but hey, it is what it is, Shelton. But
can I ask you a question, caller?
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was following. Well, I've been following the games, and I've been hearing the national word coming through. Are you one of those individuals seated with another bunch of solutions?
No, sir. Shelton will tell you I don't use that language.
Okay. Because it comes in clear in terms of the audio, and I'm like, oh my God, solutions in New York are definitely. When you hear 6, oh my God.
This is an ordained deacon, so you know.
Oh, okay.
There are
Stay away from them, deacon.
People that would use that word, and I could tell you who they were if you are listening. But then, and one of the things I suspect, some of the spectators from other countries have heard that word, and they just use it, because I was sitting next to two people and I heard the word. I think they are Guyanese, and I'm like, what?
Well, I can tell you, Barbadians in particular, they like it.
They join in on it.
Yeah, and I was a bit surprised. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And yeah, I know they're not solutions, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, it look like we have.
I suspect it's the E that's in it, you know, the electronic age, so. You know. So maybe they associate that with some excellence.
Yeah, but it's a nice thing. Congratulations again, St. Lucia, for hosting the World Cup. Congratulations. I hope that we could at least prepare a park the same way where we could host soccer likewise, or football as we call it, you know.
Absolutely.
But great going.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
This is the real issues. We're overdue for a commercial break. Let's take it back. When we come back, I promise you we'll be okay. We have another call. Let's take that call and then we'll go for the break. Hi, caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
How are you doing?
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, my minister.
Good afternoon.
Congratulations for a good job, great job.
Thank you.
There is none like you.
Wow.
And I tell you, carry on, baby, carry on.
Zoe Messiah.
After I pass by that field, oh my God, that ground, oh my God, Nowhere in the Caribbean have a feel like us.
Absolutely.
Carry on, baby. Carry on.
Thank you so
Congrats,
much.
my minister.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a lot of work. I think anybody who is, objective can say that really and truly this government has hit the nail on the head as it pertains to providing proper service. I certainly can say my ministry, along with the LOC, along with Sports St. Lucia Inc. and the National Lotteries Authority, they've worked assiduously for us to get here, and I just want all of St. Lucians to come out and be part of it.
All right. Let's take a break home. Jaquan says, another call, and I suppose there'll be another one after that. We're not turning anybody away. Good afternoon. Real issues.
I think you need people to start talking and calling the programs and compliment the amount of work you have done in Grosley. It's not just that giving people contracts. You all need to take your phone and say what baby has done in Grosley. One, the Grosley playing field, A+. A+. The Grosley Park, A+. And today I went to I went there yesterday and today, the Darren Seven Cricket Ground. And I was wondering if I'm stepping inside of an all-star hotel. Baby, I am telling you, I am taking the time out to compliment you and the government for that great work in the stadium. And also, I must say, the work all started with Dr. Kenny Anthony, Mario Michel, and the great Ernest Hilaire for considering 2006 World Cup. I was part of World Cup doing popcorn, cotton candy, and everything. And I'm part of it again. Now, you know what I would like to do, baby? There are a lot of, I saw some volunteers out of Grosley. Try to see if you can select some volunteers to be part of Grosley and be part of Cricket World Cup. People from Grosley, I've got Bernadette. You ask me, how can they be part of it? Try to take them. And the other thing I would like to see, baby, and something, if we can at least get a few little boys to even play a little part in Cricket World Cup to make a little extra dollar, probably on the field, and you'll be all right.
Absolutely.
Do that, and you will be. And you know that I always complain about the road by Austin. The big house there. I spoke to Spider. I spoke to Em about it, and so I told Spider the road by Kilago there, just by that area there inside Kilago there. That's where Sari and them building doing the bread. Open that road. It did one. And I wrote an NBC saying about that road by Austin. Open that road. I put a little railing like what by comprehensive school. And the lady came out, the man came out from the house, just that big wall house by Austin there. And he commented me. And I must say, Kenson, that is an A+. That is an A+. Nothing will take you out there. You are doing good. Perfect. Great job. You and your government. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
St. Lucia is inching ever closer and ever quicker toward hosting matches in the 2024 ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup. And in the studio with us, telling us today about the state of play of the preparations for the actual play, our Minister responsible for Youth Development and Sports, Honorable Kenson Kazime. And it's time for the calls. We have someone on the line already. Good afternoon, The Real Issues.
Thank you for our thing you gave us on the field. What's the name again? Our community center. Thank you for our community center. First time a minister come to Grand Reef here and give us a community center. Thank you very much. I'm going to put light on the field, fix up the field. First minister ever do a road to reach to the Gazon River for the people. Footpath for Asu Canal. Do a road to Asu Canal to reach Vesiqui. Thank you very much. Minister, keep on doing the good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, caller.
Thank you very much. This actually gives me an opportunity to speak a little bit about, the way forward, because we have so much to do in terms of sports development. And I must thank the Prime Minister for really making the investment in our young people as it pertains to, the finance needed for all the facilities that we are going to upgrade, including the VG playing field and sports complex. I think we have a caller.
Okay. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Minister of Grocery, and you too, Shelton.
Good afternoon.
My issue is that the Boston cricket ground. Yes, you said you spend a lot of money there. But my question and my issue is why at the lighting, the people that give the lighting of these grounds have exploited St. Lucians in paying them a fair salary of reinstalling those lights. I don't know if you have the real answers to that, but that's my issue on that tick.
Let me just say something quickly. This is the first I'm hearing of that, and of course that information will not necessarily reach me once somebody has been contracted. I think at the end of the day, persons have the ability to decide whether or not they're accepting a job based on the salary and those sort of things. This is the first time. I cannot verify, I cannot validate what persons were paid in terms of their daily amount and that sort of thing, but I will definitely look into it. Were you one of the persons who worked with the lighting company?
I'm the agent of one of the guys.
You're an agent of one of the guys?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution. I cannot validate, I can't verify what he's saying at all. And of course, you would appreciate the contract would have been issued. And every contractor, Reno or anybody would decide they pay. And of course, we as a government have moved towards minimum wage. So August 1st. Yeah.
On the line. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Sheldon. Good afternoon, Mr. Minister. Mr. Minister, is everything put in place after the game, because that's the sub point is after the game for shuttles to take people out of Darren Sammy. That's the problem.
Okay, but that's something that has come up at every single meeting as it pertains to having a shuttle service. For sure, there will be buses available after the games. As a matter of fact, we've pretty much focused on ensuring, because we know that there will be before, ensuring that after we have as many of the buses available for shuttle back to the vehicles.
Okay, thank you.
I really think that this time, in terms of the amount of buses that have already been committed to this event and the way they stand to actually get the financing, I think you will have buses available.
Yeah. And I believe the shuttle system and the park and ride and all of that, it demonstrated in Jazz that it can work well.
It can work.
I think I got good vibes, good feedback about it.
Absolutely.
We're taking your call still until 2 o'clock. 724-7325. You can WhatsApp call us on this number, and 4533-911. There are many text messages on the WhatsApp. We are getting a lot on the Facebook Live as well, but I wanted to give precedence and priority to those who are calling us live on the phone lines. Meanwhile, Mr. Minister, please feel free to go into any areas that you want to talk about. It isn't very often that we have you.
Yes.
If there are some constituency matters that you want to talk about, I think it has to be seen within the overall ambit of the constituency of Groseley being the venue that is invariably almost chosen for some of the biggest events,
Absolutely.
On this nation's annual
we are
calendar.
blessed.
Yes.
And of course, earlier we got a call from a resident of Groseley Town who has been speaking about some of the developments in terms of the playing field. That playing field has been there for a number of years, and we've always had a problem with rain. Whenever it rains at the Groseley playing field, people pretty much have to opt to leave. And I always felt that it was necessary to have stands erected on the Groseley playing field. And of course, we have that issue where where everything seemed to go to the Darren Sammy in terms of enclosed events. We have the SPL coming up in terms of T20 cricket in St. Lucia, the St. Lucia Premier League T20 Cup, and that at the end of the day we're expecting Groseley to be one of the venues. We also have the Semi-Pro League. Groseley needs a home venue considering how well Groseley has done in football, and of course some of the entertainment events that we can move away from the Darren Sammy in more of a community area where vendors could benefit from, where the local individuals in and around the area could benefit from. And so I'm very proud of the work we're doing in Groseley Town, inclusive of what the lady spoke about in terms of the Grand Riviere playing field, earmarked for work to commence next month in terms of the lighting. We have a community center which is being erected as we currently speak, and the surface of that field will be given the requisite attention. It's been given that attention since I've been in government, and we're going to continue to develop that Grand Riviere playing field. Corinth playing field has been developed, and of course the Moshi playing field is earmarked for that development in terms of lighting on that field. And so I think what we've seen in Groseley, including the recreational facility, as is affectionately called Simple Park, I think it really gives young people the opportunity to be productive. I don't think they would be able to look back at this tenure of mine so far and say that we really did not try to provide as much safe spaces for individuals to thrive. And so we're going to continue that thrust and do what we need to do to develop the entire constituency of Groseley.
All right, we have another caller coming in. Hi, caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Shelton.
Good afternoon to you.
And good afternoon to you, Mr. Minister.
Good afternoon, sir.
Minister, I am going to be very, very, very short. You continue to do what God has given you the permission and the strength to do for St. Lucia. And I just want to say to you, forward ever, backward never. And I want all the young people in St. Lucia to carry on assisting by performing their best. Have a blessed afternoon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
He really kept his word on that one, didn't he? It was going to be very, very brief.
Yes.
All right, there are so many comments on the Facebook Live. In fact, Terry Alex is saying that the minister needs a vacation. He's working very hard, and they hope that he gets, one pretty soon and so on. So, Mr. Minister, people are recognizing your labors and your efforts. There is a WhatsApp message that is perhaps not pointedly at what our main subject is, but someone is saying, Minister, have you followed up with Danny, disabled in wheelchair and mother, reference the evacuation from the current property in Groseley near the church? Are you or your team going to intervene? There are other persons affected, but who have not gone to the media. Is that what I saw recently about a lady saying that she's being pushed out of some?
Yes, I've had two meetings with the lady. I know the situation intimately. With Groseley, we've not had, as you can appreciate, with the most developing constituency, the availability of crown lands is not that much in the community, and there are certain demands based on the fact that Danny, as we know, is on a wheelchair. That whatever area that I find for that family to move to, they need to have, it must be wheelchair accessible. It must have all the dynamics of making sure that Danny is comfortable. I have spoken to the mother on a few times. I have said to her that I'm meeting with the Commissioner of Crown Land while all of this is going on, and that we are trying our best to address the situation the best we could.
Okay, we have another call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daniel. Good afternoon, Mr. Daniel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I answered you.
Oh, I did not hear your response. Good afternoon, Mr. Casimir.
While she's on
Yes, good afternoon. To make sure you can hear me. Good afternoon.
Oh, you don't have a choice. I'm an honorary congratulation, But let me congratulate you on your stint, short though it is for now, as MP for Groseley, and I must say that you are a beacon of hope for young men in this country. You are an example to other parliamentarians, future, past, or wannabes, and you are doing good work. Of course, some of us are never satisfied. We always figure that better can be done, more should be done, and that kind of thing. But you are doing well, and the word on the ground from your constituents who like to boast and claim you is that you are doing good things.
Yeah.
As regards the cricket and all of the talk by those people who are not able to get their foot in the reins to call the shots and that kind of thing, we are doing well, brilliantly. And I see around the stadium, or the grounds rather, that good works was happening, you know. So pat yourself one time on the back. You can do 2 times. Don't let Shelton touch you in that regard. Don't let him pat you on the back. But I like the color of the shoots. I love the blend and that kind of thing. But Mr. Kazmi, for a young man who just got in with such a huge responsibility in the sports ministry, you are doing wonderful. You are doing great job. And guess what? Putting people first, putting sports first, putting young people first. Semi-pro football, man. Where in the world, man? You heard of that in St. Lucia? The prospects for that at all in St. Lucia. And I want to congratulate again another person, because I don't know if Shelton told him, because what I'm getting on TV is infrequent interruptions in the sound. So I want to congratulate Jaquan on his stint as news anchor at night. Let me tell you, I was surprised and I was much impressed and very proud. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Mr. Has reached the wrap up, close to the wrap up point. I don't know if there is anything further that you want to say. Do we have a call on the line?
I just want to really encourage St. Lucians as much as possible that can afford to get their tickets to try their best to go to Darren Sammy as early as possible. The ticket booth is open. I think it's from 9 a.m. So you should try your best. And of course, we will try our best to continue to provide all that level of support for all our workers at the stadium. And we have the external works ongoing in terms of the parking area that we're expecting to be completed Thursday, Friday this week. And so we ask individuals to continue to just be cautious in terms of moving around that area. Your MPs have been calling me. They've been calling me, and I've said to them in response in terms of answering the call that I told them very early that they would not get a lot of those complimentary tickets. But those of you who can't afford it, purchase tickets and allow the MPs to use whatever little amount of complimentary tickets they get to give to those that really cannot afford, those individuals that absolutely love cricket but they are not able to go and see a Virat Kohli because of the price, those young individuals in the community that love cricket and that are perhaps unemployed that want to continue cricket, that needs that little extra motivation from seeing some of the best players in the world ply their trade. So let's try to give these individuals the opportunity instead of the same individuals over and over. And so I really think that this event will be worth a while. I think the Afghanistan West Indies game is going to be a blockbuster event. The spin of Afghanistan against the very competent batting lineup, the likes of Johnson Charles, top scoring on what we've seen as very difficult conditions. Scoring 44 on that pitch proved very, very difficult for anybody, and so we are doing very well as a country.
Let's take one last call and then we'll wrap up the real issues. Good afternoon. Yes.
How are you all doing?
Yeah, we're doing
Mr.
okay.
Mr. Minister, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good. There's so much to talk about. But
Keep it tight. You're a last caller and it's almost 2 already. Go ahead.
Lucians actually.
An unfortunate day for you. Yeah. We're not getting you because of some problem with the signal. So sorry about that. We'll probably have to do this some other time. All right. Is baby, not repellent spray. So I knew about Baygon, but it looks like now we have a baby, And you know the worst thing for that spider now? That spider probably thought because somebody else dropped out, somebody who kept selling themselves as so and so for grocery, now they've had to take refuge in being some patriot or something like that. You know, the thing about the spider is not just the baby, you know, that will kill that spider. They have spider cams on it everywhere, so you'd have nowhere to hide, you know. They have it under surveillance, watching it constantly and so on. Just that we had legacy of Cricket World Cup 2007, I suspect that spider cam is going to become a legacy of T20 World Cup, you know 2024 and so on. We're good, you know, we're good. But we got to roll now, okay, because the lotto is coming up. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, for having shared the time with us, and Jaquan for another great job. But we have to sign out rapidly.
The voice.
19. Big 4, 6, 9, 6, 7. Big 4 multi-X FP. Pick 2, 6, 1. Pick 2 multi-X 2X. 1 off 5, 5, 5. Lucky 3, 3, 5, 2. Lucky 3 multi-X 2X.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.